Center in Las Cruces. The always fierce Rio Grande rivalry continues tonight as the Lobos make the short drive on I-25 and they visit the Aggies.
In the most remote places in America. So I think the Aggies have signed a great coach up, and it should be an exciting year for them.
And we're underway. The Aggies in the white, cherry red for New Mexico. Glad you could join us. Adam Young alongside former New Mexico State coach Russ Bradford. This is City Endear with the floater, left it short. Endear grabs his own miss, though. Here's Zach Lofton. He'll trigger. That spins up. Lobos really good in transition. We see them here in the half court offensively. Wilkins guarding Firstinger. This is Sam Longwood, who is 6'8", very versatile, and he spins. And the Aggies break it easily here. Lofton again, extra pass to Mario Jones, who's attempted 4 threes, hasn't made any. Jones applies the screen for the Ohio State transfer, A.J. Harris, hard of the rim.
They're switching everything on the man-to-man defense, every screen. So even right there, it was unusual. It's an unusual move, especially because Paul Weir has a very different team.
And that could be something Paul Weir got from Lou Henson last year.
I imagine it's likely sort of a Lou Henson staple, the switching man-to-man.
Longwood again. Aggies break it, 2-on-1. Jones on the bounce. There's Lofton, guarded by Longwood. Really good matchup there. Longwood outstanding defensively. Aggies reverse it to Lofton. Longwood's on him again. Under 10 for the former All-American, Zach Lofton on the blow-by. And he's fouled.
Positive for the Aggies. And I thought in that last series, Adam, the Aggies beat the
line this year. Lobos bring in to have some airs. Endear guarded by Chris McNeil. Here's Lofton on the wing. Jamario Jones working on Kuiper. The pitch shot for Endear. Longwood not shooting as many threes this year as he has previously. No attempts this year, but he has 123 attempts in his career. Pitch shot inside-outside for Longwood. Falls away on Jones, raking the press just fine so far. And it's not leading to hoops. Jones working on the box. No block, pinch up. The jump hook, banks in. Lobos 4 of 4 from the field. The Aggies are 0 of 4.
Well, I'm probably a little too cautious there, Adam. I think if the Lobos continue to press the Aggies and the Aggies never get a layup, the Aggies will never see the end of the pressure.
Jones from 3. That's probably not the shot the Aggies want. They get a fresh 30 here. Jamario Jones in his career now is 5 of 27 from 3. Lofton's the man to shoot it. The Aggies with another offensive rebound. 4 minutes in. Here's A.J. Harris. The pull-up from 10. Jones on the fellow sticks it.
We expect a long season of Jamario Jones getting offensive rebounds. I don't think any of the players are mad at Paul Weir, but I think it seems like plenty of the fans might be.
It's led to some departures really on both sides with the coaching switch in April. And Chris Jans looking to do big things as the Aggie head coach, and we expect him to. He's had an outstanding coaching career already. Zach Lofton at the head of the key. There's A.J. Harris on the sweep through. Talented redshirt sophomore from Dayton, Ohio. Garza for 3. Anthony Mathis to Chris McNeil, and he switched. Would you like to see the Aggies attack more off the press break?
Well, I know I keep hearing what Lou Henson would say. You know, Lou Henson would say you've got to make them pay for the press. Especially at some point, they've shown they can handle it now, and I expect them now after the timeout to start attacking a little bit more off the press.
Here's Eli Chua, who did not start tonight. Harris triggers a little too long. Chua trying for the tip, and then Firstinger about the ball. There isn't a whole lot of front court depth right now for UNM. So with an ankle injury, has an ankle sprain. All conference last year in the WAC notch. This is Antono Jackson running the point right now for UNM. Transfer in from Akron. Johnny McCants guarding Sam Longwood. Buchanan here with Jackson. Foul line jumper Longwood. Misfires off the foot of Cruces natives on the floor for the Aggies. That's the case right now with Garza and McCants. On the arc, Jackson on the spin. Steps back on Buchanan. City to the lane. Back out to Chua, who does have that range. Just doesn't shoot much. McCants, good body control. Jackson back out to Mathis in the corner. Little too long. Buchanan lobs it over the D to Endier in transition. Low block Chua. Chua with the left. Slips off the range shooting.
It's been good shot after good shot. Things could be worse for the Aggies at this point.
Longwood. Buchanan back out to Endier. Rises up and he hits it. Longwood hands it off to Anthony Mathis, a junior from West Lynn, Oregon. Now the exchange for Jackson, the Houston native. Poked away by McCants. Chua ahead for Endier. Lob for McCants. And he jams it in. Jackson on the hesitation to the rolling pin shot. Good D by Chua. Pinch. Buchanan will pull it out to the arc. And Garza sets up the Aggie offense here. 11.5 left in the first half. 13-9 Lobos. Aggies off to a poor shooting start, but still trailing by only 4. Pretty strong defensive effort so far for the Aggies. We expected a high-scoring game. Not so far. McCants again. 2 straight. The top high school player in the state of New Mexico 2 years ago. Was a star for the Knights at Oñate. 13-11 UNM. Mathis gets Garza in the air. A sidestep 3. Switch. Aggies break the press easily. UNM coming in, averaging 30.5 assists per game. Also forcing 29.5 turnovers per game. Really impressive number. Just 2 games in, but you have to think they're going to force turnovers all year. Endier fakes the spin. Deep 2. Yes, sir. City's a special talent all the way from France. Redshirt junior now. Had an injury last year. McCants playing a big role. Endier for Johnny. Oh, my!
Boy, he does it as well as anybody in America.
This was earlier, Johnny McCants, a dunk to...
Fans, of course, went crazy.
The Aggies force a turnover. A.J. Harris can't convert. Endier will pull it out, and the Aggies reset.
Well, here's the Aggies giving the Lobos a taste of their own medicine with their own full-court pressure.
Double team comes on Wilkins, so he skips out of it to Endier. Attacks the rim, and he slams it in.
No, but he's made some really smart moves here, Adam, as they're against the pressure. They've been very controlled, and now they're starting to run through it after a few times. Just a perfect cross-court pass out of the double team.
Here's Ja'Kai Simmons, the JUCO transfer. Now Sam Longwood on the baseline. Taking his time on Wilkins. Longwood in the lane. Rises up, no good. Tipped around. Grab by Longwood. Kuiper can shoot. And it's short. Aggies pushing now. Harris to Wilkins.
And a missed shot. Let's see if they can do it after a made basket. I'll bet they've got their confidence now, Adam.
Aggies on a 6-0 run. They take a 3-point lead here at the Pan Am Center. Kuiper in the left wing. Now Longwood, top of the key. Lobos certainly would have played faster than this. Looking for the handoff. Simmons wasn't there. 2 to shoot. UNM doesn't know it. That's a shot clock violation. 6 turnovers on UNM. The Aggies have only committed 1. And once again, in the first 2 games this year, the Lobos forcing 29.5 per game. Harris outside for Lofton. Pinballs around. Kuiper grabs it in the corner.
Basket that could have been a layup for the Aggies.
And Paul Weir had a good point. I think Kuiper was bumped. There probably should have been a foul for UNM, so he was about to be an Aggie before the coaching change. Longwood backing down Jones. Pinballs off the rim. Longwood able to grab it though. Dane Kuiper with a pretty... Aggies break it easily again. A.J. Harris with his offhand. The burst ahead for Chris McNeil. This is the pace UNM wants to play at. And it's a Christians. That was his first hire.
Reputation around the country, as do the other Aggies assistants we'll talk.
Only one turnover committed. It's been the Lobos who have coughed it up. A.J. Harris, the Ohio State transfer, played for the Buckeyes 2 years ago. Sat out last year due to transfer rules. Lofton to the rim. Left it short. Shua crashes though, and Shua's fouled across.
A lot of pressure to put on a first-year Australian.
Aggies 3 of 5 on free throws. Now 3 of 6. There's Jamario Jones again. Saves it to Garza.
Wow. Doing what he does best.
Harris on the elbow pull-up. Tipped out by McNeil. And the Aggies will keep it. Jamario Jones, like he did all last year, keeping possessions alive.
Yes. And
Harris with the ball. He's 0 of 5 so far from the field. Lofton squares up on the freshman Pinchuk. Bullet pass to Garza. Jones had him. Didn't find him, though. It's Lofton from 3. Jamario Jones again.
His size around the basket. Watch him get... There's no way that Jamario Jones should get this. But there he is.
Jamario Jones was a late sign last year by Paul Weir last year. I never want to coach against this guy. And
you look at halftime, and he's got 7 rebounds again. Yes.
He's handled it well so far, 3 games in.
And here's that matchup again. Johnny McCants on Sam Longwood.
On the kick out, Ja'Kai Simmons. Great dump off for Pinchuk, who has... Dangerous pass there by McCants, but Harris tracks it down. Sling pass for Jamario Jones. Mismatch here with McNeil guarding Chua. Extra pass for Harris. Double team comes on Jones. Flashing Chua. Banks it in.
Out of the double team.
Back and forth we go here in the first half. Aggies retake the lead. Longwood might have had that blocked. No numbers for the Aggies. They'll lob it anyway. Good catch by McCants. Dump off for Chua.
Wood started out with 3 baskets in a row, and he hasn't made one since. He's missed 5 or 6 in a row now.
Johnny McCants playing at a very high level. Harris gets back, and McNeil's some others for UNM. Yep. Harris and Deere and some others for the Aggies.
And here comes Sean Buchanan in
for UNM. This is Kuiper on the inbound catch. Longwood 6'8", can play really all 5 positions if he needs to. Akron transfer Antono Jackson will rise up from 3. Way up. Buchanan slithering in the painted area. Now Lofton to McCants. McCants to Wilkins. Flashing again is Lofton. Well, it's 27-22 behind a 6-0 Aggie run.
The Aggies are exploiting the Lobos as they're passing out of these double teams without any trouble. Just aren't able to rotate fast enough out of the double teams. And I wonder if Paul Weir will stop the double teams because they just have not been effective. The Aggies pass the ball too well.
It's a 6-0 Aggie run. The Aggies working out of the low post. McCants, extra pass to Buchanan. Now 10 here on the shot clock for the Aggies. Buchanan calls out McCants for a ball screen. Buchanan trapped in the corner. Aggies need to chuck it. McCants does. And
remarkable first Lobo game for Chris Jans.
A no call in the backcourt. Kuiper can't finish. He's trying to grow their first half lead. They break the press easily again. Just 3 turnovers for the Aggies here in the first half. Endier working on Firstinger, who has 2, and he traveled with it. McNeil pushes for UNM. Quiet first half here for the Lobo offense after a good start, but it was all Longwood during that start for UNF. Nobody else has really had a good first half. Here's Troy Simons, who's long on his three, and Jamario Jones has 8 rebounds in the half. The lob for Wilkins, caught by McCants, back out, Endier fires. Johnny McCants playing above the rim again. Wilkins can't put it in, off the knee of an Aggie.
Boy, McCants is
Like the Aggies have matched them athletically. The athletes are there.
That's right. I think that's absolutely right.
Scoring drought of 3.5 minutes for UNF. Extra pass to Kuiper. Steps back on the side step. Pinball's out. Boarded by McCants. And he throws it away.
Well, first mistake McCants has made. We'll give him a break on that one.
And then Sean Buchanan takes it back, and Kuiper's whistled for the personal. And then Sean Buchanan pushed, and we'll see the replay. Now we need to roll this all the way out to see the end of the play. So here's Kuiper going down. Simons will come over. And there just wasn't much.
Oh, yeah.
A little more than I thought initially.
Yeah, that's right.
Jamario Jones. Johnny McCants with the ball right now. Shua slipping. McCants finds Jamario. Way deep on the arc. Backdoor to Endier. Good catch. Lost it. Jones with 3 to shoot. Gets the rim. And then the rebound is collected by McNeil. McNeil in transition. What a fantastic finish. Shua in the corner. The wing-to-wing skip to Endier. Stolen by Simons. And then he's 90 seconds left here in the first half of play. Ja'Kai Simmons guarding Zach Lofton, who goes to work on Simmons and floats it in.
Wow, great body control by Zach Lofton.
Honorable mention All-American last year at Texas Southern, was the SWAC Player of the Year. He's a grad transfer, and he puts the Aggies ahead 29-24. Simmons, answer, they have succeeded in both areas. They break the press again, and City Endier, who can run the point or the 2-guard, will hand it off to Lofton. Talented grad transfer from St. Paul, Minnesota. Isolation set, rises over Firstinger, no good. Put it back in midair, and Shua
taking terrible shots. He's taking good shots for the most part. The best part, it encourages kids to graduate.
Sure. Good point, yeah.
And so if he wants to go somewhere else and play, he's allowed to, but the only way to do it without sitting out is to graduate. I like that rule. I think it's a good rule.
McCants with a tip. Longwood collects. 7-second difference. Game clock, shot clock. And McCants. Sam Longwood's always been a really fine scorer, but never a big-time scorer for UNM. He's been around for 4 years, and he's always played well. He made 16 starts as a freshman as the scorer for UNM.
Well, that's the thing with Paul Weir. He has that reputation of being a fine communicator, and I think he's been able to get through to Sam Longwood here.
That's Longwood again. 3-second difference. Game clock, shot clock. McNeil off the screen. 2 white jerseys there, so he hands it off to Pinch. They're going to get it in too late. No shot for Chua. That won't count on Wednesday. Back to action, half 2. Who will win the 219th meeting here in the Rio Grande rivalry? 1 possession game. Endier blocks Jackson, and the Aggies out and running. A.J. Harris all the way to the rim, no good. And Wilkins catches the tip. Harris fires from the corner, way short. Jones had Endier and Wilkins, and they couldn't grab it. Both teams empty in their first possession here in half 2. Longwood will square up on Lofton. Really nobody in foul trouble right now for the Aggies. Harris has 2, that's all. A.J. with the orange right now. Lofton left open. Firstinger late to close.
Sam Longwood has just disappeared for the Lobos, or just hasn't been the great influence that he was in the first few minutes of the game.
That's a big mistake for Firstinger and UNM, leaving Lofton a clean look. Aggies now 2 of 11 from 3. Chris McNeil, the Jackson, Tennessee native. A little too strong. Rebound for Harris. Not a minute 2 years ago for A.J. under Thad Matta at Ohio State. Sat out last year due to transfer rules. Mid-post extended Wilkins. Here's A.J. Harris, extra pass. He finds Lofton. A little too strong. Endier tips it out to Harris. Lofton to Endier on the kick out.
And particularly the post players. Jonathan Wilkins is a terrific passer. And he's the one who got that first open shot by sharing the ball. And Jamario Jones has taken off his nose guard, by the way.
Joe Furstinger with a long deuce. Harris to a trailing Wilkins. Bounces off the defender, and that's a charge on Jonathan Wilkins. Weir believes that this is a second half style. That they'll wear down their opponent enough to have a big second half advantage. Furstinger misses there. Wilkins, the outlet for Endier. Jamario Jones was all alone. Jones to Lofton again from the...
But I'm a little surprised the Lobos are leaving him that wide open. The Lobos seem they're having a little trouble with the rotations on defense, especially particularly out of the double teams.
Kinnon's in, and Harris heads off. Fouls on Logwood, and it's Buchanan running the offense for NM State. Now Chua for Lofton. Biggest lead for the Aggies, it's 10. Buchanan blocked away for the 3 seconds is up. It's Chua who gets a pretty good look. McNeil collects and they lost it. No numbers though, it's a 2-on-3. Jones to Endier, way short. Here's McNeil brushing off the Pinchuk screen. Watch lost it. Let's see if Lofton slows it down. Zach will, and Chua gets it off for City Endier. Under 16 left here in half two. The Aggie lead has grown to 10 behind some hot three-point shooting here in the half. Lofton has a clear path to the rim.
Lofton has that reputation being able to lower his shoulder and get to the basket.
Simons on a step back. It's loose. It's picked up by McNeil. Mathis left wide open, and he is... Mathis 2 of 3 from bonus distance. Lofton has the freshman, Malwatch, guarding him again. Now on the switch, he's guarding Endier, and it's going to be a game later this year in December when New Mexico State plays Illinois at the United Center in Chicago. It's the Lou Henson game.
It'll be full of Lou's former players from both teams.
Always nice, too, when the Aggies head back to Chicago. A lot of alums in that area. A lot of former players in that area. 5 to shoot for Mathis. Here's Malwatch, and he swishes in the 3. Freshman from Sydney, Australia.
Well, that was one of the few breakdowns with Jamario Jones that you'll ever see defensively. Uh-oh.
One of our officials, Mike Reed, will scoop it up. It's like a cough drop.
Oh, I thought it was chewing gum. Fans, if there's things coming down on the floor.
Like I said in the first half, he's had his team Australia. Brandon Mason now on the bench as well. An outstanding recruiter, you would have to think. Jamario Jones skies for the rebound. Garza's open here on the wing. Just didn't get to him in enough time. Harris finds Lofton with under 14 left here in the half. Lofton gets by Furstinger, can't finish though. And then Mathis.
Basket and winds up taking a little bit of an off-balance shot. The switching man-to-man defense by the Lobos.
Lofton will trigger in for the Aggies, lobs it into Jamario Jones. Chua hands it off to Garza. Good defense there for Antono Jackson, sticking out his hand. Jones wants it down low. He's posting up on Simmons. On the roll, Chua. Back outside, Garza for 3. Defensive board for Dane Kuiper.
Well, Kuiper came down with that in big traffic.
2-possession game right now. Longwood guarded by Chua. Longwood with the hook. Pinball's off. Jamario Jones, 14.5 per game. Lofton finds an angle again.
Zach Lofton.
15 for the grad transfer. Getting his first taste of the Rio Grande rivalry here tonight. Firstinger shooting into the student section. This year for Firstinger were 23 last. 5 minutes into the game, it was an 8-point Lobo lead. Chris Giants trying to call out the play, and the Aggies able to get it relayed to them. Simon's all over Lofton.
Really well. Watch him here to anticipate which way Zach Lofton's going.
Possessions, the inbound to Jonathan Wilkins, back to Lofton. Well, the doesn't reset. Baseline feed to Wilkins. Firstinger and Simmons double teaming it. 4 to shoot for the Aggies. Harris triggers. Wilkins the offensive rebound, and then, but 3 games in, when it's a rivalry game like this, that would mean a marquee win for the Aggies. McNeil guarding Harris. Here's Wilkins on the exchange. Johnny McCants was great early, playing a lot of minutes here tonight. Endier from the wing with 6 on the shot clock. Finds his way to the paint, and he's fouled.
Well, taking care of the ball, played unselfishly, but they haven't shot or the Lobo defense or
Firstinger might need his. He's one of those guys who's not afraid to put his nose in some triggering. At his 3rd different school in 3 years. Began at Western Kentucky. Malwatch loses the ball. Surging ahead is A.J. Harris, and he has it go off his knee. Situation right there, Coach, maybe trying to make something out of nothing.
Yeah, well, on both ends. The Australian probably made a bad decision dribbling into 2 people, and A.J. Harris with a usually he's pretty under control, and in this case he just got going a little bit too fast.
No field goals for UNM in 3.5 minutes. Not a good time here to go to a drought for them. They trail by 7 on the road here in the road opener. Firing is McNeil. Left it short. The Aggies box out again. They're pushing here. Might have numbers. Pull up Endier. No good. Wiped off the glass by Pinchuk. He lost it though. Loose ball. And it's Jamario Jones who finds it.
Who of course, Jamario. And I think he knocked it away from Pinchuk to keep the Aggies alive there.
Endier to Jones. The pump fake on Kuiper. Tipped away by Dane Kuiper. Great D. Here comes Troy Simons. Simons on the fall away. Not a good shot. Pulled in by Harris. Ahead for Endier with 2-on-2. Endier found a half per game before tonight. A.J. Harris to City Endier. Wrap around pass for Wilkins. Inside, outside, Lofton. Pump fake and a drive. Hand off to Jones.
He's going to have to do this here, and he seems perfectly willing to do it, is to show that he can share the ball like the rest of the Aggies can.
Here comes City Endier. And he's
really done much.
Really good sportsmanship here by Dane Kuiper. Went right over to City after he fouled him. Said, I meant no harm by that one.
Well, the problem with City Endier is he's so slippery, quick getting to the basket. He could make anybody follow him accidentally.
City 1 of 2 on free throws tonight. First one is up, and it pinballs out. 2 in this game. Endier gets 1 of 2. Biggest lead 12. It's a 10-point lead right now. No points in 3 minutes for UNM. Back doing the cut. Longwood catches from Firstinger. And he scores around the freshman, Johnny McCants.
Well, I think in that situation, when Longwood takes 3 or 4 dribbles right under the basket, they're gonna need to double team him down there.
.40 Aggies. A.J. Harris backpedals to the wing. On the sideline, Jamario Jones. Now Zach Lofton, who has 15 on 6 of 13 shooting. The Ohio State transfer Harris, and he'll go far. The clock is now under 9. The shot clock is at 4. Presidential treatment here tonight, Coach. We have Larry Spalding come over to make sure we knew what was going on with the clock. Foul situation right now, 6 on UNM, 5 on the Aggies. That is the 3rd on A.J. Harris, who's defending Jackson on the wing. Simmons picks up his dribble. Firstinger will post up Wilkins on the arc. Now it's Jackson again, guarded by Harris again. A.J. has to be careful with 8.5 to go. Wow.
Yeah, well, it's a veteran crew. We're going to give them a break. Yeah. Plus, they've been so kind to us. They come over at every opportunity.
So Sean Buchanan comes in, replaces A.J., who's going to sit for a few minutes. Firstinger catches the inbound. Lobos trail by 8. This has not been a good half for them offensively. Longwood back outside for Mathis. 3.
Start celebrating. Not that anybody's celebrating.
Some big minutes here now for Sean Buchanan, the backup point guard. Lofton. Back to Buchanan. Wilkins on the handoff reverse to Jones. Flashing McCants, high-low feed for Wilkins.
Defensive coach.
Head coach in program history. And here to go find Sean Buchanan. Some others. And the Aggies ahead by 7 now. Longwood banks it too hard. Wing-to-wing pass goes to Lofton. How about Johnny McCants tonight? The Oneonta grad playing big minutes off the Aggie bench. Isolation set for Lofton with 6. Lofton for 3. Flanks it off the rim. Jones there, sticks it home.
Aggies have had all night that I wasn't crazy about. You know, Lofton dribbled it about 20 times there. But it was John Wilkins who bailed the Aggies out. And Jamario Jones with the great nose for the ball stuck it back in.
7 points, 12 rebounds for Jamario Jones, the senior. Longwood's a senior. Doesn't hand it off. Mid-post extended. Outside, the Akron transfer. Jackson answers. Lead pass to Wilkins, who will slow it down. Handles the ball well for a big man.
Well, that's the thing that I would characterize. The Aggies' big men are all different, but they all pass the ball very well.
Lofton on the reverse. Last year he was the SWAC Player of the Year.
It's just a great addition for the Aggies this summer.
UNM State now 12 of 18 on free throws. Pinchuk loses in gradually, but the big man from Germany having to play a lot of minutes with the injury to Connor McDougal so far this year.
Yes, and he's done well.
Pinchuk has 8.
It is Jerome Robinson from Toronto.
Court is shaking right now. Inbound for McNeil. A little too much adrenaline maybe. This is too strong. Buchanan to Jones. Extra pass for Chua.
Get up. And that's where the Aggie big men are so effective, is they're just so willing to share the ball. Sam, I think, is trying to do a little bit too much here. I don't think there's nothing is set so far. But if the Lobos will be the first time all night.
McNeil uses the Longwood screen. Here's Firstinger on the arm. Simmons bounces for Firstinger. McNeil to the rim. Charge on.
Well, he was
break the press again. Buchanan finds Chua for the reverse. Here's McNeil. Firstinger was rolling. McNeil and 1.
Well, Joe Firstinger and Eli Chua got tangled up, but I don't think there was nothing illegal there. Just Joe Firstinger playing hard couldn't get untangled from Chua.
That's number 3 on Eli Chua. McNeil looking for the three-point play. Wins in the free throw. Aggies in the half court offensively. Endier, Buchanan, Jones, Lofton, and Chua on the floor. Mathis, McNeil, Kuiper, Logwood, and Furstinger for the Lobos. Here in their road opener, they're 2-0. The Aggies are 1-1. Chua bullet passes on 21 baskets for the Aggies. For UNM, they only have 5 assists. Buchanan blocked by Furstinger, but he only has 2 points for the year. He gets one of Mathis to the rim. Easy reverse for everybody. Lofton with the left hand.
How well they've played together in the first really big home game of the year.
Averaging 21.5, coming at 11 as we approach the 4-minute mark. 219th meeting here in the Rio Grande rivalry. And it's been all Aggies since the first 5 minutes or so, really. Step back 3, McNeil. That's a really tough shot. City Endier dribbles out of a double team. Jones right next to him. City bounces to Jamaria. Under 4 left for the game. Zach Lofton going to work again. The teardrop a little too strong. Put back for Lofton. Spins around and spins. It's 65-54. They trail by 11 here at the Pan Am. He's always looking to score. He's always got his eyes set on the hoop.
Yeah. For a guy that's so willing to score.
Layup is off the mark for Jackson. The Aggies save it. Endier speeds ahead. Lofton to Chua on the baseline. Pinball's out. Kuiper snares it. That's how big Kuiper is. A.J. Harris so quick. Breaks the press himself. City Endier for Harris. Lobos trying to trap if they can. Lofton stutters. Working on Furstinger on the help side. Gets it out to Jones with 6 to shoot. Here's City Endier from the corner. Splits the double team. Floats it with 3 on the shot clock. And Logwood couldn't grab it.
Well, City Endier, I think, would have passed that last one, but he'd run out of minutes, run out of seconds. Sorry.
Lofton triggers. Gets it in the backcourt for A.J. Harris. Paul Weir riding the officials right now. He just banged the scores table in frustration. The Aggies will chew some clock, ahead by a dozen. Lofton splits 2. Lofton to the rim. Coach, he just brought his team together and said, that could pretty much seal the deal here. Lofton hits both. Technical foul. Not a whole lot of time left for UNM. Logwood and Mathis bunched up here on the wing. Logwood on the spin. Can't finish.
We were anticipating a high-scoring but close game.
Endier has it.
They never looked rattled or frazzled. Gents had a national reputation as a shrewd tactician and a good recruiter. So it's not like tonight made him, but it was fun. It was fun to see for Aggie fans.
Mario Mocha hired Chris Jans in April. It was a home run hire for fans and coaches around the country. He worked under Greg Marshall at Wichita State. Helped develop Wichita State into a top 25 consistent program. He's been a head coach everywhere. JUCO Division I. He's been around, and he's here at New Mexico State, and he's got the fans riled up here tonight. A minute 25 to go. Kuiper from the wing. Front rim, rebound for A.J. Harris, who's played with foul trouble here in this half. 28 for Zach Lofton tonight. Harris to Endier with a dozen to shoot. We hit the 1 minute mark. Endier lobs for Jones, lost it in a run
and gun kind of game, but it was the Aggies who controlled the nervous or ineffective, and McCants gave the Aggies some great.
McCants, when he started that rally, the Aggies were struggling early.
Well, he was a key player tonight, and again, you don't
comes in. Joe Garza's back in. Leston Gordon gets a touch right here, and here's Courtrait Miles. So the Aggies emptying their bench. Hadley on the arc. 6 to shoot for the Aggies. McCants backdoor to Garza, has to fade away. Gordon puts it up, can't get the rim, and that's going to be a shot clock violation.
They've heard us bragging about him.
Firstinger shoots a 3, left it short. Johnny McCants the rebound. Listen to this crowd at the Pan Am Center in Las Cruces.